Hi everyone, it's Josh Esther, and today I'd like to share 3 lessons from the Christmas story. In the 2nd chapter of Luke, the Bible says, "And this shall be a sign to you, you will see a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes." How many times have you been to church and heard that story? It's almost like it's just part of our culture, just something we talk about. And yet I know that for me, I often forget the importance of that moment, what it really means for me today. Before I was a Christian, I often imagined God as one of those Greek gods. You know, the statues that are white and muscular and very impressive. I imagined that that's what God was. And that equally, he was just as angry as Zeus. I thought that he would zap me. I thought that I probably wasn't good enough. I had a lot of thoughts about God. But one thing I never assumed is that God would be sitting in a manger. And I don't think it would come to anyone's mind automatically. The truth is, that idea is crazy. It's crazy, and it is beautiful, and it is good news. It's exactly what we need to know. So number 1, I just want to remind you this Christmas to not forget that Jesus is amazing. I know it sounds cliche, but it's exactly the story we need to know. How many gods do you know would do that? Would lay down the glory of heaven, would turn away being the king of the universe for even a moment to come down and save little humans who had rejected him, who had sinned, who didn't even recognize him when he came. What kind of God is that? That's beautiful. That's a good gift. That's amazing. And for number 2, I just want to look at this beautiful tree. My mom helped us decorate this tree. And as you can see, it's gorgeous. At night, it's even more gorgeous. It reminds me of Jesus. Why does it remind me of Jesus? It reminds me of Jesus because Jesus is beautiful. Jesus is the center of all of the gospel. Jesus is the thing that draws us to him. Just like a lit Christmas tree in the middle of the living room, in the middle of night, covering all the presents with light and beauty, Jesus is in the middle of our whole story, shining his goodness and shining his light on all of us, because he wants us to know that he is a God of love, that he came down and he has inserted himself into our history so that we could never say that God wasn't good, and we would never forget that he loves us, that he cares for us, that he cares for you. That's what I've been thinking about, and honestly, it's so easy to forget. With the hustle and the bustle of life, it's easy to just buy presents and make our loved ones feel good about beautiful gifts and forget that Jesus is the greatest gift. Not only that he became a babe, not only that he lived in a dirty manger for even a second, but that he lived a life that was beautiful. He lived a life of service to humanity, and that he ultimately gave himself that we could meet him in heaven, praising him for all that he's done. And number 3, get out of the way of Jesus. I don't mean that you're not important. I mean, remember to stand him up like the Christmas tree in the middle of the living room. Remember to lift him up. Jesus said, "If I am lifted up, I will draw all men to myself." Don't forget that message. Christmas is a reminder that Jesus lowered himself and became the most beautiful and good and kind God in our hearts and lives, so we can lift him up and give that truth to everyone we know. Jesus came for you and me, and he came for everyone you love too. God bless you. Have a Merry Christmas.